Okay, I'm back. I cheated and I looked through my boxes over here and found the Marcos. Okay, so you can stop the video now. That's it. I'm happy. But no, I'm going to show the rest of them too. I think I might have more than one of these. And no, I'm not just saying that. I think I might have more than one. And there you go. It's the side shot. Yes, I'm embarrassed. Oh, yes, I'm embarrassed. Yep. I have not learned how to make those side notches. I gotta learn how to make this. I haven't, in all this time that I've been napping, I've made like 4 or 5 of these. Never can get the notching or the base correct. And then I give up because I had to start with such a large piece. I don't want to ruin all my pieces of stone that are this large. Now with a patina like this, it's probably a root beer color chert. And not one of these pieces of the Owl Creek. But I'm not going to use my root beer. I don't have very much of it. I'm going to try another. I'm going to try the Owl Creek stuff and that sort of thing until I can get one that looks like this. All right. If I can do this, I can do all the others that are similar. The thin stuff like the Montel and others. I don't even have the angle of the notch correct. The angle of the notch is inward, much more inward. Now, are they fancy and nice at the bottom? No, it's just crunched in there. No fancy pop outs. No, it doesn't look like it on this one any large thinning flakes from the notch area. It just looks like well thinned from the sides and the base, with fine retouch. Not perfect. So I think I got that part down on the retouch. I just don't have the general thickness or the width of the base or the stem. Now that's a very short stem. Why did they have a short stem? See, that's way too big. It would be hafted to about right there. Well, if it's a projectile point, which I guess it is, impact fracture, duh. You don't need a lot of holding power. You just need it not to snap. You know, a nice cross section like this, it looks like, you know, pretty tough. It's not a long stem, so it won't snap off in half that easy, although it probably would, with enough pressure, of course. So you can mount it in a less than a ½ inch notch. Of course, it would be wider, right? It would be like this, but with this kind of notch, this narrow and shallow type notch, and probably squared at the bottom. You can make a square bottom notch with stone tools, don't worry. That way you have some leeway to move the point around. I don't want to do that too much because I could snap a little bit of a chip off the bottom. I don't want to do that. But if you have a square bottom notch, you have some room to negotiate. Let's see if I can do that. To align the tip. So that's how that works. So yeah, I would haft it that deep. So let's see what that is. That is exactly 1/2 inch. All right. Let's see, or 14 centimeter, 14 millimeter. Anyway, there you go. Found it, but we're gonna go look at the other ones. I just need to set this aside for in a safe spot right under my percussion tools. Anyway, okay. I don't know what that is. Preform. This another preform, or they developed the stem first, and then they were trying to thin the blade, and oopsie daisy. Oopsie daisy is a boomer term for holy crap. All right. Uneven blade. Much more use on this side. So yeah, it could be anything. I say knife usually when that happens, but who knows? Could have shot it at something. Let's not repackage this. Let's do this. I'll do that off camera. But we'll unpackage them just like a bunch of, unpackaging videos all in one. Unboxing, unenveloping, unziploc bagging. I think I've actually shown this in another video just as a reference. Like, I want to make one of these and put it away. Such a nice break. I mean, look at that. Just nice and symmetrical. Step fractures. Uh-oh. Oh well. This one looks like a doofus, like me made it. Yeah. Very similar. So whatever this is, that's what I made. Yes, indeed. It matches up really well. Imagine that. Oh, and look. I might be thinner. Yeah, so my brother from another mother made this one. Cool. I'm going to save it. Which reminds me, my kid's mom is half Native American, and I am 11.5% Native American. So yes, I do have brothers from another mother somewhere in my collection, or made by ancestors. Let's see. So when I tell my kids their ancestors made funny looking points sometimes, I'm not wrong. Okay. Nice flat base. Very cool. I think this is Georgetown. Oops. Oh well. Well, what happened? Looks like I'll have to get another bag for this one. I'm not too attached to this one, but I'm not sure if this is real or not. But I like it. Yeah, it looks like it's been damaged by age, so it's probably real, right? Because you can't see that damage. I don't know if that's heat damage or what, but if it's like that all the way through, you can't make something like this because it doesn't show any sign of damage like this. Now the tip might have been reworked. I just don't know. It looks polished, right? I don't know, but I'm keeping it. I don't know enough about this type to make any determination whether that is real or not. It just looked a little bit different to me, so anyway. It probably is real. Okay. I've got some of this material too. Nice. This material works nice raw, but it's extremely tough. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I get these attacks of not having a clear throat. I don't know what you call that, like phlegm attacks. Nice little Frio. I don't know what you call these. Call those pretty cool, man. Yep. I call those pretty cool. Impact fracture. I don't know what the material is. Wish I had a bunch of this stuff. Let's see. Is that focused? Wish I had a bunch of this stuff. This lighter color flint. Although I know now where to get it from, I think. Which town in Texas? Okay, let's see what we got here. Translucent. Can't tell what's happening there, but it looks like it's in the preliminary stages just before being finished. That's what it looks like to me anyway. And so it's interesting to see how they develop these blades. Let's see. It looks like a Martindale. Impact damage, so they definitely threw it at something. Most of these Martindales are very hefty. And they're very early archaic points. Very old, right? This one's at least 5,000 years old. Correct me if I'm wrong, it could be even older than that. Some of the oldest points that I have are these bandies. It's amazing to hold something that old, 5,000 or 6,000 years. Well, you know what? If I had a book that said how old these are, that would be awesome. Let me see. I wish I had that book. Yeah. What did I say it was? Martindale. There it is. Martindale, early archaic with radiocarbon dates 6,440 to 5,040 BP. So before the present. Present means 1950. For those of you who are just tuning in, don't know nothing about nothing. This point is between 6,000 and 5,000 years old. So let's hold that one more time. Little 6,000-year-old artifact. How old are the pyramids? Not 6,000 years. Nope. Okay. Cool stuff. Cool stuff. I take it for granted. We all take it for granted. Yeah. That one looks like a bandy because it's smaller than the Martindale. Yeah. Resharpened projectile point, but the tip is off center. I don't know what I said, how many times I've said if it's off center it's a knife, right? I've said that several times. Would I mount that? Let's just figure this out. Would I mount that to a, and that'll dart foreshaft. Could it be possible? Would I mount it like that? Does it matter? I need to test that out. It's a little bit thick for this. This is the foreshaft I'd probably use for something like this, and it's a little bit thick. So verdict is knife from a non-expert. A very non-expert. Okay. Who is that? Who is the non-expert? It's yours truly, buddy. This is the same as this material. So they were using it. We've already spotted 3 artifacts of this material. And I can just, it feels the same weight. After you've been working with it, there is something to say about feel. It's the same weight, right? So some of these rocks are heavy. Like, this is heavy compared to this. And not only because of thickness, but this in general, this type of stone is more dense than this. So that's one indicator. The other indicator is how it flakes. And yes, the Native Americans were choosing stone that can be flaked easily in a raw state, for sure. I think they would prefer that. But that doesn't mean they didn't heat treat the stuff that was crappy. And crappy is an official autodidact term for insufficiently knappable. Okay. Alright, whatever you say. Alright, so there's a little defect in there. I don't think that's not a heat pop defect. I could cheat and say, yeah, that's a heat pop defect, but no, it's not. It looks like an inclusion in the stone. What did I say? Heat pop defect? No, heat treating defect. That's not a heat treating defect in there. Expertly made, very thin, and yet they don't care too much about how the bottoms of the notches look like. It's all crunched in there. Very nice. I don't know what that is with a straight stem. I'm missing something. It's got to be in my book, but I don't know. Oh yeah, I'm using this book, by the way. So you were about to write that in the comment section, and I caught you before you did it. All right, a Lang point can sometimes have this square, right? But the barbs are not. Well, yeah, there's a barb here that looks kind of like that. Anyway, it might be one of these late archaic types. It's relatively thick. Those Lang points, it looks like they were relatively thick. All right. Okay, we got all kinds of types here. We still got some time. Impact fracture. I gotta make sure I'm focused on each one of these. Lots of thinning flakes from the base. Very nice translucent material. Impact fracture, I think I said, yeah. Massive impact fracture. Or massive amounts of force. Fits very nicely into this foreshaft. Yeah. Projectile points. These are stubby little broken projectile points. Let's see, this one is an undeveloped blade or drill, right? Almost, it looks like someone just made it yesterday. And I bet you it's 1,000 years old. It could be less than that. It could be, knives were made all the way up until European contact, of course, and beyond European contact. A lot of stone was being used after contact with Europeans. Eventually phased out, of course, as metals became more available. Now, the blade edges on this feel developed enough for it to be used like this as a knife. But you know, this edge here looks too, you know, wavy to be finished, to look finished to me anyway. So I think it may have broken just before they finished it out, and then it didn't conform to their mental template. Just so I can trigger those anthropologists before, I mean, after it broke, it didn't match their mental template, so got discarded. Okay. This one definitely has some twist to it. I've gotta make some of these. See that heavily, I don't know if that's heavy resharpening, or that's the way they originally made the point, with that heavy pressure. A series of a lot of serious pressure on there. Series of serious pressure to get that shape. And they're not very long. This looks like a Jetta type point, right? Oh, kind of crazy. There is a ding here, so some of the barb is missing. But yeah, I'm gonna put this aside. I need to figure out how to do that. The edges are super thin. Okay. Put that aside, and I'm going to learn how to do that. Okay. That's a different kind of bevel than the traditional looking bevel that I have on this piece. See, this piece has a bevel, right, but it's very straightforward, just down pressure. This other bevel here is a little bit different. Okay. It's not down pressure, it's inward pressure, but it's used to create a bevel. This one here is a break probably during manufacture, but who knows. It's got that primary look to it before it's finished. You know, the edge looks like it's not finished out. It's got that primary looking, or what do you call it, stage 1 type look to it. And never got finished out. That's my answer. Okay. Oh yeah, here we go. We got something a little different. Perforator. That's what they call, or graver. And this edge is still sharp, so you know, maybe they were using this to cut. I don't know. I don't think so. But it's still got an edge, a little bit of an edge to it, and it looks like it has been retouched. So who knows? You cut with one side like an arrow shaft, I guess, and then you can engrave little grooves in your arrow shaft with this one. Although it feels delicate, I don't know. I could be wrong. There is some polish on it. It feels like this edge is all jaggedy and sharp, but the rest of it feels like it's very smooth. Well used. We call those gravers. Now this one, I know this one is a Nolan point. So I make these when I make mistakes too. If I make a mistake on a blade, I can just turn it into a Nolan, no problem at all. You just got to create the It's one of the simplest stems ever. To create the stem, you just nap downward in a semicircular way. You just nap downward. Lo and behold, you got a bevel. Doing it on the other side too. And lo and behold, it is beveled. Same on both sides. So you just make a blade and put in the side notches. Big, huge side notches, and it creates the stem. Stem doesn't even need to be perfect at all. It's all wonky. So I would say that these are knives. But, I think a lot of them might have impact damage. Look at that. It matches almost exactly the width of mine. Of my, the foreshaft I made. Okay. A lot of these. It's already 26 minutes. Wonder how much time is actually taken up by me removing these from the little baggies. The little Ziplocs. Look at how delicate these ears are. That just amazes me. Why they would be hefty. The point itself is hefty, right? I mean, it's solid. And they made it nice and solid. That's tough, right? It's hard to snap it. And this is probably very rare that you find them snapped like this, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, it seems like it would be rare to find one snapped like this. And then with such a rigid, tough stem and blade, little delicate ears and little delicate barbs. And there's a little ding on this little ear. And it feels ground. Except for that little ding. Well, I don't know. Is it a ding? Yeah, it feels sharp there. This one's rounded. It feels ground. This is ground. This is ground down. Yeah. And the edge work is nice. Little serrations. Still sharp. That is still sharp. Beautiful. I want to take a look at that one up close. This one I think is like one of my favorite styles of projectile point because it's so utilitarian and so easy to make these from the type of stone that I have, the small spalls and small nodules, that it's just fun to look at these. And you don't need a very deep haft for these either. Look how short that stem is. You can make a ton of these fast. This is what I would shoot. I don't know if I'd put in that big old base notch. Probably just leave it straight. Save myself some time. But yeah, I would shoot this. This is the type of that I like for little dart points. Short stems, thick body, not too long. The notches are not too much of a hassle. Symmetrical, although I don't know if I doubt that all these are this symmetrical. I think this is one of those types that are usually asymmetrical. So that's good too. You don't need to be perfect with those. Someone once asked me what's my favorite point type, and I keep forgetting what I answer. Now this is one of the thinnest blades I have. Someone wrote 5P on here. I don't know. That's some sort of site identifier. But anyway, this looks like Georgetown type flint. And again, this is one of the thinnest blades I have. when I got this many years ago, when because I wanted real artifacts to look at when I started learning how to flint knap. So this is one of the first pieces that I received, and it just blew me away. I said, there is no way I'm going to ever get to this stage where I can create a flake, a large flake like this on something this thin. This is a late stage flake. This is toward the end of the blade manufacture. All right. So yeah, I'll continue on the next segment.